What's up, guys? It's Mandi.
It's Wanda.
It's Sarah Tyler.
And this is the Two Girls, One Bar podcast.
Your strength sport podcast for the girls.
Every week I get just like a little bit closer on the timing of the music. It's like I lost it and I have to relearn how we do our intro again. But welcome back, everyone. We're really excited. We have the amazing Sarah Tyler with us this week. So welcome, Sarah, to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks.
We're excited to have you. Do you want to give just a really brief intro for anyone who might not know who you are at all?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Sarah Tyler. I've been a weightlifter, an athlete in the sport of weightlifting since 2017. And I have been a weightlifting coach since 2020, full time since August of last year. So it's been almost a year since I've been a full time weightlifting coach, which is really kind of cool to think about. I currently coach for 2 gyms. I coach in person for RVA Performance Training, their RVA weightlifting team, and then I also coach remotely at Heavy Metal Barbell Charlotte Strength.
That's awesome. I am excited to talk about that transition into full-time coaching because that's so cool. But I always love to ask how people got into like sport to begin with. Like, did you play sports as a kid, or what was kind of your path to make it to strength sports and weightlifting?
So I'm not really an athlete, if I'm being honest. Like the most
But you
athletic
are,
thing
you were.
I am now, but like the most athletic thing I ever did growing up was marching band. I played the saxophone in marching band. I did a couple of summers of softball, like community sports where my mom just like signed me up to do something in the summer. I did boys and girls club sports. Like it wasn't anything serious. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of my history in sport.
Yeah. So how did you come to find weight or like strength sports in general if you weren't really like, if that wasn't your jam, how did you happen upon this world that has become now like your career, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. I loved the idea of being an athlete,
Okay.
and I was just a little nervous about putting myself out there to try out for sports and things like that. Like when I was in high school, I was in the marching band, I was around football. I wish I could have played football. I'd walk by the weight room and I would see the guys train. I went to school in the 90s, so it wasn't cool. Like there was not equity in sports when in the 90s,
Same,
so
dude.
like
Same.
it wasn't cool to like say, "Oh, I want to play football as a woman or as a girl,"
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But I was interested in it, but I was kind of like interested in it in the background. So I put myself in sports situations by like being in marching band. I like to watch NFL games on the weekends with my dad. And then kind of like it serendipitously happened after I had some kids. I was really overweight for the majority of my life. Like I was 280 pounds when I got pregnant with my first son, and I was pretty sedentary for the most of my life, like after high school. And then after my first kid, I gained more weight after having him
Mm-hmm.
and hired a personal trainer and lost 100 pounds. And that was really cool. And I was like still trying to figure out how to use my body in a way that was fun.
Yeah.
Because he told me like, "Hey, you're going to have to do this for the rest of your life." And that made me like feel devastated. I'm like, I'm going to have to go to the gym. I was the girl that sat in the parking lot for like 15 minutes trying to work my way to get out of the car. Like I did not want to be there, you know? It was like a very vulnerable, like scary place to be in a gym.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, after I did that with him, after I had my second child, he was like, instead of coming back as a client of mine, why don't you try something different?
Mm-hmm.
And he suggested for me to try CrossFit, and I did. And that kind of is where everything changed. So, I'm sorry, after the birth of my third child. So in 2014, after the birth of my son, I said, screw it, let's just try it. And it was the most fun I ever had. And I've never looked back.
That's
I even
awesome.
coached CrossFit for years. I think it's the most fun thing to do in fitness.
I just have to say bravo to that personal trainer
Yeah.
also, because it's so easy to just like, have people, continue to come back, and obviously like that's your livelihood also, but
Hmm.
for him to realize like this isn't going to keep her here. Like she needs to find something that's really fun. Like that's really cool. Like that definitely that's a good personal trainer right there that was able to like, hey, head over here and try
Yeah.
something fun, you know? Like that's not normal. Most
Hmm.
people would not. They'd be like, "Yep, keep coming to me forever until one of us dies."
He's a pretty cool guy, if I'm being honest. Like, we knew each other before he was my personal trainer. I actually lived with his family. We went to the same church, and his younger sister had a baby. And so I moved into their house
Hmm.
and was helping them with the baby. So we got really close. And then down the line, like, he was always that person that knew about fitness that I would always call and talk to, about fitness. And he was running this program it's very interesting. He was running this 12-week program. This is how I got into this with him. It was like almost like a cognitive therapy type thing
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
fitness involved.
Hmm.
So we would sit and we would meet for an hour prior to our session, and we would break up into groups and have chats about like our self-talk, like how we view ourselves, like habits that we have, and like different things that kind of get in our way of being successful in whatever it is in life. This just happened to be based around fitness and like working out and being healthy. And then we would go work out together. And then we would have 2 individual sessions with him every week. And I did 12 weeks of that. And it really changed my
Hmm.
life.
Yeah. I love that. Wanda knows that I have like a little bit of an obsession with CBT, like cognitive behavioral therapy. I just think it's so effective and works really well for logical minds, to kind of
Hmm.
provide those pathways. So I love that. I think that's so cool. So how long did you stay in CrossFit? How long did you coach CrossFit? Is that where you kind of caught the bug for also coaching and teaching?
Yeah, I started CrossFit in 2014, and I was just kind of like a member hanging around for about a year and a half.
Hmm.
And then in 2016, I was like slowly transitioning from just CrossFit to doing CrossFit and weightlifting. I'd like show up
Mm.
2 hours before the class, and I would do my weightlifting programming, and then I'd hop into class and do CrossFit. And the guy who owned the gym out where I did CrossFit, he also ran the barbell club.
Hmm.
So he was kind of like in my ear, "Hey, you should coach, you're good, like you would be good at it." Um, and so I just took my level 1, and he just kind of threw me in the deep
Hmm.
end. And it was great. It was the scariest thing I've ever done, and also the most fun and rewarding thing I've ever done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's so
And like
cool.
also being somebody I have a bigger body, I am a woman, like being in the front of the class, like, "Oh, are you gonna listen to me?
Right.
Like, are you gonna still respect what I have to say because I move I move in a bigger body," you know? So, especially being in Southern California, that whole thing, it was a huge insecurity of mine of being a coach in that space.
Yeah. What do you feel like kind of mentally changed? Like you did this 12-week program, you said you lost 100 pounds, and now you're like coaching and in front of people. What do you feel like kind of changed for you mentally through that process, even just, to the point of being in the front of the room, coaching the class and leading fitness from someone who was very sedentary
Hmm.
and wasn't doing any of that? What was that? What did that transformation feel like, I guess, more like internally and like mentally, emotionally for you?
I think in the beginning, it was almost like I couldn't believe that I had made that kind of a change. It empowered me to believe in myself more, that I could really do anything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like I went from one extreme to kind of the other. If you
Yeah.
think about it, CrossFit's kind of culty. And really crazy. Like when you think about it, it's like, especially back then, early CrossFit, it was like, it's the only way to do fitness right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then like beforehand, I could never step foot in a gym. And I was spending 4 hours in the gym sometimes all day. Sometimes I'd be in the gym all day. Um, so at first I think it was really it blew my mind. And then I think secondary, I thought of myself walking in the gym. Like if there's somebody that looks like me that walks in the gym and sees me up there, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable and maybe like this is a space for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's very powerful. Representation is important.
Absolutely.
Absolutely is. What about so at some point you kind of transitioned more into weightlifting. Did that happen slowly? Did that happen quickly? Or what was that path like?
Um, it was very fast, actually. Like I picked up a barbell.
She's like, I'm
I re-
out. I'm going to lift.
Yeah. I think I remember it was my first clean day. I don't know if either of you are more snatch girlies than you are clean and jerk girlies, but I'm a snatch girly, and snatch day was always my favorite. The first day I picked up a bar for clean and jerks, I cried my eyes out. I could not understand. I could not understand the movement, and I think it was like 1 week into CrossFit. I'm like, I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back. This is it. I'm terrible at this. I'm never doing this. And then I decided to go back because obviously. And then I was like, I'm just going to sit in the front. I'm just going to stand in the front of the class. I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to learn. I'm going to get good at this. And it was at that point where I just kind of took off
Yeah.
with weightlifting and made it my life goal to be good at this thing. The first time I ever maxed out my snatch, I snatched 125 pounds. And I guess that's not normal. Um, And I think that I had kind of a knack for strength sports. I deadlifted 195 the first time I ever maxed out my deadlift. And this is somebody that spent most of their life completely sedentary.
hmm
You know, I kicked myself for like not getting into strength sports earlier. Um, but yeah, I decided early on that the strength was something that I really wanted to lean into.
Yeah.
And luckily, I had a coach there that really cultivated that in me, and he just kept feeding me more and more. I just was like a sponge, soaking it up, and I spent every waking moment I could in the gym that I let myself, because, I was also raising 3 small kids at that time, so,
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Lesson, everyone, go to the front of the damn class. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, don't hide in the back. When did you do your first competition? How long was it from starting weightlifting to I'm gonna try competing? Because again, I just keep thinking like it's
Gosh.
always so cool when someone goes from not even being involved in athletics and all of a sudden you're like competing, you know?
Yeah, listen, I did everything my coach told me to do. He was like, "You need to compete," and I was like, "I don't wanna do it." He's like, "You're gonna compete." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So
Good coach. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm impressionable too. Like I'm an easy one. Like if you need to
Peer
manipulate
pressure.
somebody, come and get me. I'm your girl.
Yeah.
I'll be convinced. No, but he told me to sign up. It wasn't sanctioned. It was something in a in a in a brewery or like next door to a brewery. It was really, really small. You got a free beer with your registration. So I'm like, cool.
There you go.
Yeah. And I PR'd my snatch. I think I snatched 165 pounds that day on my first. We did it in pounds. It was a pounds competition.
Sure.
I think I snatched 165 and I think I clean and jerked 190. And I was so nervous. Like I was so nervous. And he told me, well, sometimes if you yell, when you go out there, if you like yell, it'll like help you with the nerves. I was like, just yell? And he's like, yeah, just yell. So I go up there like an idiot and I didn't think of just yelling. I actually screamed, "Ole!" Like, "Ole!"
Okay.
Somehow
And
when you started telling this, I just knew you were gonna yell something instead of just I just
everyone
knew. I was
laughed.
like, it's coming.
And who knows why this came to my brain, but I like threw my hand in the air too, like I was about to, I don't know, like run with the bulls or
Right.
Like
something.
a bullfighter.
And everybody laughed, and it totally cut the anxiety for me. And I got up there and I made my lifts, and it was great. I went 6 for
Effective.
6,
It was
and
effective.
I was like, I want to do this again.
Yeah.
I want to do this again. I was addicted.
I'm
Wow,
dying that you yelled
that is
Olay.
quite the memorable first meet.
Yeah.
Have you ever told an athlete to yell Olay?
No,
Okay.
never. I would never.
Did you ever do it
Never.
again, or did you figure out
No.
after, like, okay, maybe that's not?
I've never done that. Like I'm like a you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
a grunter.
yeah.
I'll do that, but never have I ever screamed a audible word again.
So amazing. It's so good. I love that the full body, like a hand motion, everything went with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish there
So
was a
good.
video, but this was when like Facebook was still the thing and
Yeah.
Instagram was very new, and we didn't like record anything. Yeah, so it's not on. I think I have my last snatch on video, and I ran away after I dropped the bar. I like dropped the bar and ran away really fast. Like, why was I leaving? I'll have to send you guys the video.
You were running
because
from
it's
the
like,
bulls.
I was like, what exactly? Like, why was I running away so fast?
Oh my God.
Anyway.
I cannot. That's so amazing. So you do your first competition. It goes really well. You want to do more. So then what happens? You've tried out this sport. You know you like strength. Did you immediately were like, I don't know, I want to see how good I can get. I want to compete more. Like, what was the, I guess, mental, like, attitude shift after that first competition?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just became obsessed with getting more kilos on the bar. Like, I think any athlete is like that. You know, you get a little bit of taste of success and you're like, all right, I like need to keep working. And I got really serious with training. I got really serious with nutrition. My first coach at the CrossFit gym, he helped me. He was a nutrition guy. He helped me with nutrition. The weight classes were weird back then. Like the heaviest weight class was 75 kilos.
Mhm.
So there was no way I was going to drop down
Mhm.
to that weight class. But I knew that I wanted to recomp my body, make sure I was fueling for my workouts. So he put me on this, nutrition regimen, and I got really strong. I just kept bumping up, but I knew there was something missing, right? Because he
Yeah.
was still pushing me to do CrossFit. And like now we know that you really need to focus on specificity if you want to get good at weightlifting.
Right.
You have to do weightlifting, and anything else you do can possibly take away from your training. So, he wanted me to be good at everything. He wanted me to compete in CrossFit. He wanted me to, work on my muscle ups and all that stuff. And it just wasn't something I wanted to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that was like 2017. So I spent like 2 years with him and decided to look for a weightlifting specific gym. And that's when I went to SoCal
Mhm.
and started with SoCal. And I spent 8 years with Chris at SoCal, even through a move across the country. I stayed with him and was remote with him. And that's when things really took off
Yeah.
for me in my career.
Yeah. Because you competed at the national level quite a few times too, right?
I only competed at senior nationals one time.
Okay.
And then I said I was retiring, and then I didn't retire.
Yeah, because I was like, there was like this huge, because I also like am close with like the SoCal people, and there was like this huge like emotional post, like you hugging Chris in the back after your last lift. So I'm like, oh my gosh, she's retired, and
Yeah.
then now you're back. So I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yep. There was a lot of like soul searching I needed to do, I think, to figure out what I actually wanted.
Sure.
I think it was just time for me to walk away from that team and move on to something else, something closer, because like I said, I'm a connector, I'm an emotional person. Like
Yeah.
I need to be a part of community, and it was really hard. I spent 5 years being a remote athlete, and it was so hard.
Right.
I needed to train with a team. I needed to be close enough where I could at least drive to see my coach. Yeah, being remote, I'm still remote, but like being remote across the country over, 2, 3 time zones.
Yeah.
Like that was really, really tough
Yeah.
for us. We managed for a while. We were doing Zoom sessions, it was pandemic time. So we were doing Zoom sessions. We were doing a lot of, video chatting and things like that. And, SoCal was big and Chris had his hand in a lot of pots. He was doing a lot of different businesses,
Yeah.
doing a lot of different things. And I just think that it was better for me to move on. And I think that's why I made the choice to, like, I told everybody I was retiring because I thought I can't do this without him. Like, I can't compete without him. I can't be an athlete without my coach. So I think I'll just quit. And that's why I did that. And then realizing that I really actually love this sport.
Mhm.
And it's not the team, it's not the coach, it's me. I wanted to do it for me. So when I decided to come back, that's when I decided to do it for myself,
Mhm.
first and foremost.
Yeah. Do you feel like throughout, like, of course, there's like you want to do it for your team for whatever, but do you feel like that wasn't, I guess, at all a consideration? Or like, I mean, there was a lot of time in between, starting with SoCal and then this kind of retirement and starting
Yeah.
again, kind of, this soul searching. So, like, during those years, what was it like? Do you feel like your motivation was just the team, or like what do you feel like was that main driver? Because that's a long career,
Yeah. That's a good
within
question.
that.
Yeah. I think when I was in house with SoCal, I was still a baby. Like I was still a baby weightlifter. I was 35. I was just starting to compete, putting my toe in the water, figuring it out. Um, I'm I like to say that I'm a very technical lifter and I appreciate technique over anything else. And that's the way I was taught. Chris is a technician.
Mhm.
And so he taught a lot of technicians. There's a lot of technicians in SoCal. If you watch, we all kind of snatch the same. If you look at us. Um, and we were taught to be very, very technical. But I think what I was missing was grit and fierceness and that like fearlessness that you need to get under the bar when it is out of position. And when I was originally with SoCal, I was so focused on how I moved, and I am also a people pleaser. That's like something that has come from like way back in my childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
And so I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything right and correctly to make my coach happy. And I think that new athletes can kind of get into that cycle of like I'm want to please my coach and like make sure I'm doing it right instead of messing up. Like I don't want to mess up.
Yep.
When people mess up, they say sorry for messing up.
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then when I moved away, I think I was in house with him for like only 3 years,
Okay.
which is wild because it felt like forever.
Yeah.
But 2017, 2018, 2019, so like almost it was like 3.5 years I was in house. And then 2020 hit, we moved to Virginia. And then I started training in my garage and in other gyms. And he wasn't around to like his eyes weren't on me all the time. So I felt like I could kind of flub my numbers, maybe go off program sometimes when I wasn't supposed to, or like
Mhm.
be more courageous
Mhm.
because nobody was watching me. And it taught me a lot about what I'm capable of.
Mhm.
And this is nothing on it was nothing on Chris. Like he is
No,
an
no, no.
incredible coach
Yeah.
and I am still very close with him and he's one of the huge mentors in my life that's helped me learn about weightlifting and coaching and being an athlete. And I love him very dearly. But I always put myself in this box, whereas if I don't do it right, I'm going to be a disappointment.
Mhm.
So I needed to get out of that box and, allow myself to stretch my wings. I had people around me. I had Big Jake.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
guys know
yeah.
who Big Jake
Yeah.
is?
Mhm.
So I had Big Jake and then Big Jake's other coach, Kirk Jennings, and then a couple other people in our little CrossFit gym. And they would say, put it on the bar, like, let's go, come on. And they would like just cheer me on and yell at me to do better. And that's when I just exploded through the roof.
Mhm.
is just gaining confidence in myself, really. And that's when I hit that national qualifying total in 2022. I snatched 88, which was an American record, clean and jerked 107. And that was my 195 total that punched my ticket to senior nationals for the first time. 40 years old.
That's cool. Did you, when you started like, okay, I want to add more kilos to the bar, I'm getting addicted to it. You started SoCal. Had you set kind of a goal for yourself of, I would love to make it to blank? Like, was nationals the goal, or what was the goal?
Well, for supers, our total is crazy high. 195 is insane. So I didn't think that was possible in a short term. So my immediate goal was I want to snatch 80 and I want to clean and jerk 100. So 180 total was my first big goal. I wrote it on my mirror in 2019 and I didn't erase it until April of 2020 when I hit it in my garage during pandemic. I
That's
hit 80,
cool.
I snatched 80, but I didn't put it all together until 2020, where I snatched 82 and I clean and jerked 98 in my garage as an online qualifier.
Yeah. So then what did qualifying for nationals feel like? Because it wasn't this like fulfillment of this original goal or something. But obviously, like, you knew you were getting closer and closer, you know what I mean? Like, you had to have that
Yeah.
in the back of your mind of like, oh shit, like I'm a little closer to this total, or maybe it didn't phase you at all. But what was it like
No, it
to
for sure
hit it?
did. It for sure did. I had my eyes set on qualifying for senior nationals the end of 2021, moving into 2022. Um, and I think the first meet was Masters Nationals. And Chris and I talked about possibly qualifying for senior nationals at Masters Nationals in 2021. And, I had never opened my clean and jerk. I'd never clean and jerked 100 on the stage, just so you know. Never since like 20. Yeah. Up until then in 2022, when I did Masters Nationals, I had never, ever clean and jerked 100 on a big stage. And I had to open at 101. So that just gives you an idea of how fearless I needed to be. And I told Chris, I don't care what happens in this training cycle. These are the numbers I have to open with. I have to go. I think we had to end at 87. I thought 87, 108 was like what I need, like the most logical numbers to hit. And I made all three of my snatches. I believe it was like 81, 84, 87 is what I went. And I made all three of my snatches and I was like pumped. And then the clean and jerks came and hit 101, smashed 101. And then 105 was the next one, caught it in front, had to walk it out, smashed the jerk. And then I caught 108, so good. And then just didn't have the legs to stand it up. And it was like 3 kilos. Like, it was within my grasp.
Yeah.
And Chris didn't tell me what numbers we needed. I did. I was like, this is what I want. Put it on the bar. I'm going to prove to you that I can do it. And I think that's when his idea of what I'm capable of shifted because I had to set the tone. I had to be like, this is what I want. So put it on the bar.
Yeah.
And then so we decided we were going to do AO finals that year and really hit it. But I'm like, if we could get 1 more kilo on the bar for snatch, then I would only need 107, which is more mentally easy for me to think about. And that's what we did. I actually missed my opener. We opened at 103 for the clean and jerk and I missed my opener. I dumped it. So we had to go 103 and then 107 and it happened. It's the best moment of my life, you guys. The best moment of my life.
After 3 kids.
Yeah. Making that total, because if you rewind back to 2016 when I took my level 1 at Sean Waxman's gym.
Yeah.
And Allison was there helping and she was like getting ready to go to nationals. And I'm like, "Oh, you're going to nationals? That's so cool." She's like, "You can't be too far off." And I'm like, I think at that point I had my snatch was like 68 kilos, my clean and jerk was 80. I was like, I'm way off. I'm way off, sister. Like I don't think that's ever gonna happen for me.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to 2022 at 40 years old, making a senior national qualifying total and hitting a Masters American record. And the Masters records are only getting tougher,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know? I gotta snatch like 90 or something at AO finals to make a record this year if I want it.
So what are your current numbers now?
Same. I've never hit anything more than that, y'all. 2022, that's when I peaked.
So you said it was 87?
88,
88?
88, 107.
Okay.
Bring back the Olay.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm like,
maybe.
listen, bring it back. I'm gonna be at finals. Like, Sarah. Oh my God.
I got close. My first meet with Sean was Masters Nationals 20. Was it 25? Yeah, 25 Masters Nationals. I got really close. I went my first 6 for 6 meet. I snatched 86, clean and jerked 106, and I got really close. And they were pretty doable. Like they looked really like there was more in the tank.
Mhm.
So I know that there's more, but with this sport, it's like a game of when the stars align. And the older we get, the less that happens,
Mhm.
the less that's the stars align, training cycles with no injuries. Yeah, less we have things that break our momentum in training, like, scheduling. And now that I'm coaching so much, scheduling definitely comes into that,
Mhm.
and it sometimes get in the way of training. And, I know that there's more in there, but I just don't know when that day is going to come. And hopefully it's December of this year in Southern Cal or in Northern California in Pleasanton.
Yeah.
I would love to hit that total again.
We'll be
Yeah.
watching for sure.
Hell yeah, we'll be there. What was it like going to the nationals that you qualified for? So like competing
Oh,
at senior
scary.
nationals.
It was so scary. It was unlike any Masters meet I've ever been to. People are like, it's just, it's fierce back there. It's palpable, the fierceness back there of these women. And it's cool, but it's intimidating, for sure. But I used it. I used it to fuel me. I had a really bad training cycle leading up to nationals. I pulled my quad muscle, so I couldn't squat very much, and I'm not a very strong lifter. I'm an efficient lifter, but my squat numbers are not great.
Mhm.
So every single squat session I missed was detrimental to my progress.
Mhm.
So I actually only made one snatch, um, which was kind of crazy because I'm a snatcher. I usually make all three of my snatches. I hardly ever miss snatches in competition. So that was a surprise, and I got really angry, and I told Chris to we were gonna take it easy because my quad. And I'm like, I don't care, put it on the bar. So we opened up at 103. We did the same numbers as nationals. We went 103, 107, 110. He put 110 on the bar. And I racked it. I racked it, y'all, but I didn't stand it up.
Yeah.
That's
But
so cool though.
it was a really, really incredible experience. And I think the girls that were back there that I was competing against, most of them were already my friends. So it was really cool to like be back there with them and share that moment with them. You know, me being the elder in the room, being able to like drink up those vibes and experience that. I did not take it for granted for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so cool. I mean, you still totaled, right? Like you didn't make
Oh, yeah.
all of your snatches, but you qualified for senior nationals. You went to senior nationals. You totaled at senior nationals, which is a lot more than most people can say. So
Mhm.
And I'm
I
pretty
feel
sure
like,
I was only one of 3 women in their 40s in that whole entire competition. It was me, Christy Brewer, and the athlete that dislocated her finger.
CC
Her
Kyles.
what's CC?
Cece.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was me, Christy, and CC.
I love that Cece's like famous moment. She did go viral online like all over the place for
Yeah.
that, which
Yep.
is crazy. I mean, it was kind of crazy. But yeah, that's so cool though. I love that you achieved that, and I think it's just your story is so cool to see you go from like I'm not an athlete, I'm sedentary
Yeah.
to totaling at senior nationals, which is amazing. And then now you've literally made this your entire career. So was there a point in time when you were like light bulb, like I don't want to do anything else but this. This is going to be my career, my life, my, like coaching is going to eventually be like the thing.
Okay, wait, also pause. What was your career before coaching, too?
You guys would never guess. I was in the
Bullfighter.
I know. No.
I'm never going to let it die.
I was in the optical industry.
Okay.
So I was a licensed optician,
Oh,
and I
wow.
build insurance. When you go into the optical office, I would check you in. I would take you to pre-test. I would send you to the doctor's office. Then you would come out. I would fit your glasses. I would build the insurance, and then I would send you home. If you needed contact lenses, I would help fit you for your contact lenses. I was also the frame buyer, so my boss like sent me to these cool places to go, like Vegas, to go buy frames for the office for the year.
Mhm.
It was pretty cool. Merchandising was part of my job title. It was a cool job. Yeah,
That is
it
cool.
was fun.
Yeah.
That is cool. That's really cool. You do always have really great glasses. So
Dude,
that
this is
carried over.
from a China website. I used to be I used to be very bougie. I'm telling you, people would say Costco, and I'd be like, "Ugh, you buy your glasses at Costco," And now I'm like, there are so many different lines of frame. Don't overpay for glasses, you guys. Don't do it. It's not worth
Okay,
it.
I have an appointment set up next week, and I love my frames. Okay, first of all, where should I just where did you fill like your lenses? Because obviously the frames are from China.
It's so I went to this website.
Yeah,
If you want, I can send you the information.
put it in the show notes.
Yeah. And they fill your prescription for you in
Okay.
the glasses.
Okay.
And it's like $20 for a pair of glasses.
Alright.
I
Hell
also
yeah.
do Warby Parker. Sorry if that
Yep.
offends anyone, but I do Warby Parker. It's so cheap. And
Zennies also is super cheap.
this is okay. Since you said that, I'll say this one. This one's LensMart. I have like 6 or 7 different frames from them.
Do you feel like Elton John? Because that's what I feel like when I order like 7 pairs of glasses. I feel like I'm Elton John.
Y'all, I have over 50 pairs from my
Oh my
life.
God, you are Elton John.
I have, so I worked for a company called LA Eyeworks, and they're, speaking of Elton John, they were like Elton John's leading line that he would wear, the ones that look like flowers, like those are LA Eyeworks. Johnny Depp wore LA Eyeworks. It was a very high-end leading brand in like the 80s and 90s.
Sure.
And they would have like really fun political feminist stuff in their windows. It was really fun. But yeah, that was my past life. Sometimes I think about, what if I stayed in the optical industry? I'd probably still be there right now because it's a good paying job, and
Sure.
but it's kind of it's
Boring.
good, but it's
That's
like
it.
kind of boring.
Yeah.
But you
It's really
found
just
this
me talking
now,
to people. Yeah.
which you're still talking to people.
Yeah. People would come
Technically.
and sit at my desk and talk to me about their divorces and talk to me about their kids. I knew so much tea from people. It was great.
That's awesome. Well, now that we know where to buy cheap glasses, what was I think it's hilarious. We could get sidetracked. So what was there like a moment that you were like, I'm gonna change my career path into this, or how did that happen?
Well, when I started CrossFit, I was a stay-at-home mom, so I didn't really have a job. And when my first coach told me that I should think about coaching, I think that's when things started to shift in my mind. Like, oh, I could do this. Like I could do this for fun. And then it stopped being for fun and started being for realsies. probably when I moved here in 2020 and I started getting one-on-one clients and programming for them and taking them to meets. Like I have one athlete that is still very near and dear to my heart. She stopped weightlifting and had a baby. And hopefully will come back. But her name is Taylor, and she was my first athlete. I developed her from nothing, like she didn't know hardly anything about weightlifting. And then our last memory together was her lifting at AO2, hitting all 6 of her lifts
Amazing.
and hitting PRs. It's just so rewarding, like pouring into somebody and having them take what you give to them and then them produce, accomplishing their goals that they didn't even know they could do. They dream up
Mhm.
these. Well, I think that's our job as a coach. I was having this conversation with Steph through Marco Polo. Also, remind me to talk to you about Marco Polo. We were talking about this athlete and how, he has these goals that are very, very grandeur. Like, are you going to go to the Olympics in 2028? No. But when he started weightlifting, he's like, I want to go to the Olympics, and I think it's our job as a coach is to feed these delusions.
Mhm.
Like we have to have delusion to be successful in this sport. And it's our job as coaches to like cultivate that and
Mhm.
help them get as close to the sun as they possibly can,
Mhm.
and have fun with it. Like we have to instill in them to believe in themselves. If we don't believe in them, if they already have trouble believing in themselves and we don't believe in them, like, that's a recipe for not success.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that a lot. I think it's really interesting because I feel like just over my career in athletics beyond just weightlifting, I feel like you kind of get two ends of the spectrum on that one. Is you get coaches who feed the delusion to build self-confidence, like you're saying, and then you kind of get people who feed the delusion to keep the money where it's at. And I always feel like you
Mm.
can tell the difference based on not even the outcomes, but the attitudes of the athletes. If you feed the delusion to keep the money where it's at, I feel like you end up with athletes who already think they're doing everything right, so therefore they deserve this thing. And
Mm.
then I think the other side is not the same. But it's interesting to hear you talk about it that way, because I think sometimes I have seen people almost like avoid it because they've seen the bad side of that, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, I think it can be a slippery slope, but, like, if you're doing this job for the money, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah,
Let's be honest, like, there's no money in this sport.
right. I know.
Like,
I know.
I mean, if you're running a business, we want you to run a successful business, we want you to make money,
Of
but,
course.
like, we don't get into this because of the money. We get into this because of the passion that we have
Yeah.
for creating for like building relationships and helping people. Ultimately, we're in the business of helping people,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
teaching and helping. That's what we do. We are mentors. Like it's a rewarding but a very, very tough job. And I think to your point, like when it starts becoming about the money, I think that coach might be a little burnt out from it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure. No, I like the idea that, the feed the delusion idea, because I do think if there's anything we have learned from this podcast, and even from like when we did the scholarship applications and stuff, is like we bring so much into this sport, right? Like when you come
Mhm.
into the sport as an athlete or any sport, right? You bring so much of your past ideas about yourself and things that you have kind of like ingrained into what you think you can and cannot do, or how you've built community, or how you have related or compared yourself to others. Oof, dog fur. And I think that you can transform someone's picture of themselves, like through sport, and especially strength sports, and especially for women, to have this thing where you can get so genuinely physically strong. I just think it's so fucking cool, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And I think like how special it is that I get to be a part of it,
Mhm.
you know? Like I honestly I don't take that for granted either. Like the
Mhm.
fact that I get to be this person for somebody. I was just asking one of my athletes in team training um yesterday. I asked him, "Do you know when the first year that women were allowed to compete in the Olympics in the sport of weightlifting?" And he's been in the fitness world for so long. He was a kettlebell instructor, a personal trainer.
Mhm.
Like he has a large social media following. So I thought maybe he might know. And he said, like 1960 something. And I was like, 2000. He's
Yeah.
like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like that's why I feel like it's so special that I get to be in this position. Like I
Mhm.
not only am I a woman athlete that does the sport of weightlifting, I am a woman athlete that does the sport of weightlifting that also gets to coach,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
I think people do forget that sometimes, and it's like, no, during our lifetime, women were not allowed to compete in the Olympics in this sport, and so it is really cool to be a part of that. How does it feel now that it's coming up on, like, 1 year of this is your full-time job? Like, coaching is the full-time gig now. What does that feel like for you?
I'm excited to keep learning.
Yeah.
I'll just say that because when you start doing this, you realize that you don't really know anything. And it's important to really to always be learning and to always be like seeking information and seeking
Mhm.
knowledge, to never think that you've reached the pinnacle of understanding and anything in life. I'm really lucky I have a lot of mentors in my life that help teach me and push me to learn and grow. um but I think balance is the thing that I'm constantly struggling with. I'm always overextending myself. I'm always saying yes to too many things. I had a meeting with my boss yesterday, and he was like, I need you to not be as available as you make yourself for your athletes. And that's so hard,
Yeah.
because one, being a neurospicy person, I feel like when I see a notification on my phone, I have to take care of it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or else it's like poking at me.
No.
But also, like, I want my athletes to feel supported by me. I want them to be heard by me, and I want to give them my attention, because I know that was something that I really needed as a remote athlete. And I have so many remote athletes that I want them to feel like they're getting the value out of what they're purchasing, one, and two, that they're getting feedback from me and feeling like they're progressing in this sport and learning something through each training session.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
So
know that.
balance.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and you want to it's so easy to also, like, you talked about scheduling, like, your own training and stuff. It's so easy to, like, sacrifice your training for your athlete, something they need, or, like, it's so easy because all you want is for them to, like, do well, succeed, love this sport, love
Mhm.
yourself, like, and you feel like I can do something to encourage that. It's so hard not to be available 24/7, you know what I mean? To
Yeah.
kind of to do that. And I think especially with your experience as a remote athlete and knowing, like, how much you craved that connection, you wanna create that connection. So I get
Mhm.
that. It's super hard. One of the best things I did for myself was I kept my old phone when I got a new phone. So I have a phone that only works when I'm on Wi-Fi, and I can turn it off, but it doesn't turn off my personal number. And I do my video review stuff is only on my iPad and, like, on that phone. So that way when
Oh, that's
stuff from my
smart.
remote athletes comes through, like, they know if it's an emergency or something, like, they have, like, an urgent question, like, they can text me. But I'm not looking at, like, video review notifications, like, on my general cell phone.
Mhm.
And that was something
Yeah.
that helped me separate, like, I had to take it off of my normal phone because it
Yeah.
was, like, some notifications don't bug me, but that I always felt like, "Oh crap, I have to do this right now." Like, it
Mhm.
has to be urgent, and it's not urgent, you know?
Yeah,
So,
it's not.
yeah. So I think
Or
that's
you think
interesting.
about me, like when I posted my videos, I knew there'd be a couple of days before I would get some feedback. So if I felt like that, why am I not allowing myself to think that my athletes are going to feel that
Yeah.
way?
Yeah.
So I think it's just I think it's the perfectionist in me to want to do everything perfectly, so but I do
Yeah.
enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but I think it's important too because we need to build athletes that are autonomous that can like be on their own and make choices and not need a coach to like tell them,
Well,
"Oh, how many kilos should I go up on the next set, coach?" Like I don't need a text like
mhm.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like watch every rep. There's athletes that every rep they do, that they look the next moment, instead of kind of being like, oh, this felt
Yeah.
good or this didn't feel good. Like you'll see a head turn every single time a rep is complete. Like you want to build some independence there for sure. I know you mentioned that you really like to keep learning, that you kind of always have this kind of continuous craving for learning, especially now in coaching. How do you
Mhm.
like to learn? Like, what do you like to read? Do you like to go places and go to courses? Like, what is kind of your chosen method, I guess, of continuing to dive into things?
I wish I was a reader. I wish that was me, but it is not me. So if there's any books happening, they're audiobooks.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But through
that's
heavy
reading still.
metal, yeah, it's still reading, but it's hard for me to sit still. Like right now I'm like like I'm itching to get up and start walking around because I've been sitting for 51 minutes and 30
Yeah.
seconds. And so in the car I listen to audiobooks. Through heavy metal, Sean also does continued education for all of his
Yeah.
coaches.
Mhm.
Like we just went over annual planning and like how we name the blocks of training and what each block of training is and how to define them. So it's nice to have these constant things coming up because when you know there's a weightlifting, when you know that there's a continued education meeting coming up, you prep for it. You do your homework. Like there's accountability there. I also did SoCal's Academy.
Yeah.
They had a 12-week course. Before they did the continuing one, they had like cohorts of 12-week courses. And I was in, I think, the third cohort. And that was really educational. I still have all the slide decks. I review them all the time. I go over them quite often. And honestly, watch a lot of YouTube videos. I get a lot
Yeah.
of information through YouTube videos because I want to see how this coach builds their annual plan, like how this coach, I love Greg Everett's videos. I think his videos are so helpful
Mhm.
and precise. Like he is very articulate
Hmm.
and teaches really well. So that's kind of the gamut. And then, of course, like, I have Chris Amenta, I have Sean Rigsby, I have my best friend, Stephanie Warnick. I have like so many weightlifting coaches that understand what I'm going through. They've already been where I am.
Mhm.
And, that's probably the ace in my pocket are like all of those people
Mhm.
that I can go
Hmm.
to and ask questions.
Yeah. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that our sport has become much more collaborative than it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be like trade secrets, and it's like, we're not fucking reinventing the wheel, people. Like, let's collaborate a little bit here and have conversations to, rising tides and all that. So I love that it's become so collaborative, and you see so many more like coaches who constantly kind of like talk to each other, rely on each other, mentorships, like you mentioned. I think that's
Yeah.
just really awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think there are still pockets of old guard in there.
Yes.
Um, but it's nice that like the new wave of folks are coming in and kind of changing that. So I would love to see USAW provide a lot more education opportunities that are outside of, you know, their level one or level two. It'd be really, really awesome if there, was a group of coaches that created some sort of, you know, education for coaches like me who are
Mhm.
newer to this, or
Hmm.
maybe people that just need more education opportunities.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in general, I think it'd be
Yeah.
cool if that existed. Yeah, for sure. Um, so what are the goals now? What are you working on now, both in your training and as a coach?
So right now, so I run the program at RVA Weightlifting. We have a couple of things in the works. There is so I run like a intro to weightlifting class, which is kind of feeding our pipeline for our members. Um, and my team is so small. We've got like 40 members, But if I'm being honest, we probably have closer to 25 that actually do the program and show up on a consistent basis. So I'm just trying to find ways to get out there and get more people through our doors. So right now I have like 3 or 4 people. I have 3 people and 1 in the pipeline that's starting their onboarding. So that's great. Very excited
That's
for
awesome.
new people to learn weightlifting.
Mhm.
And then there is a competition sort of this weekend. It's a fundraiser for Parkinson's. So at RVA Performance Training, we do exercise classes for folks with Parkinson's disease. It's a
That's so cool.
free it's so cool, y'all.
That's
It's
so
a
cool.
it's a free class for them, so they don't have to pay anything.
Mhm.
And we do this fundraiser every year to raise money for it. Um, so I can send you the link if you want to share it.
Yeah, we
Actually,
absolutely can.
it'd probably be too late actually when this
No,
posts,
but we
but
can still share it though, like before this, if it's cool.
yeah, Sunday is it's a clean competition. So they run it like a USAW like a USA weightlifting competition where you get 3 attempts at a clean, just a clean. And then each athlete raises money for the organization.
Mhm.
And that's like their yearly budget is from this one
Oh
fundraiser.
wow.
So it
Wow.
funds the coaches that coach the classes. It funds all the equipment. It just the overhead cost. So it's such a cool thing that we do. Um, yeah, and then as far as heavy metal goes, I have 5 remote athletes, 1 in the works, so almost 6, and just plugging away, helping them reach their goals.
Mhm.
And then as far as like my own personal stuff, I just want to keep lifting.
Yeah.
I would love to hit a senior national total again. And I would love to hit it at finals.
Yeah.
But I am still struggling with a little bit of flare-ups going on. So I'm managing managing all of that. And then also I have a registered dietitian that I'm working with, which is really helpful.
Mhm.
Registered dietitians don't get enough credit because they do so much more than just giving you your macros. Like it's not a weightlifting coach. I mean, sorry, a nutrition coach.
Yeah.
They help you with so much mental health stuff and like I don't know. I'm so grateful the fact that I could find a registered dietitian in my network and have my insurance pay for it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's so great. That's really cool. I love that. I'm excited. I'm excited to like cheer for you at finals. I think it's going to be so much fun. Before we let you go though, want to have some rapid fire questions for
Oh, I'm the
you.
worst at
It's
these,
okay.
but I will do my best.
Well, okay, so the first one isn't a rapid fire question, but you're like, "Ugh, remind me to talk about Marco Polo because
Oh,
because
yeah.
I actually heard about
Yeah.
Marco Polo from a friend who actually heard it from you. So I was like, tell me more.
Okay, so really quick, Marco Polo is an app. And it's an app on your phone that you video message your friends back and forth. And it doesn't take up storage in your phone like recording a video and sending it to your friends or like a voice note or
It's like
whatever.
Snapchat.
It's it's like old people Snapchat.
Okay.
So we call it like our podcast because we record these videos that could be like 20 minutes long and we just sit in our car and we talk and we
Mandy,
chat
we need
and
to
then
get
we
on
listen.
this.
Yeah.
I was
And
like, our group message is about to change.
so there you can have a group. So me, Stephanie Warnick, and Taylor Harris are in a group chat
Mhm.
and we chat back and forth. Like today, there's been like 8 messages back and forth. I just got Danny Ear signed up. So I'm like talking to him about his baby because he just had his baby.
Mhm.
And then Krista and we talk all the time on there. So, and then there's a couple weightlifter bros that I talk to on there, like Nick DeShane and
Yeah.
Cornell. So it's fun. It's a fun little thing it's actually saved my long distance friendships. If I'm being completely honest, being on a separate time zone, feels like you're like a universe away from them. So this is something like instant. So if you can't get on the phone or get on FaceTime with your best friend, you can just send them a quick message and they'll get back to you when they can. And it's like so great. I love it.
Yeah, because Mandy and
God.
I have a group chat with a third friend, and she literally sends 20-minute voice messages, and I'm like, let me just get to our text first, and then
I
listen
do
to
the same though.
listen to the podcast after.
Yeah.
But don't you want to see their face with it?
I guess so.
Wouldn't you like to see their
Yeah.
face? A lot of
I
it's
like
we're
that.
driving. So it's like, gosh darn it, get out of the, we're like road raging, but then also
Yeah. Okay.
I like it though. Yeah, we send a lot of voice messages back and forth in our group message. I'm
I
like,
don't
do we
save them.
transform it to video?
Yeah, so I don't save them.
Yeah.
So like when they disappear, and I like can't go back.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
recommend it. Give it a shot. If it's not for you, it's not a big deal. Won't hurt my feelings, but I feel like you should give it a shot.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think, like, will it make it better or will it make us worse? I feel like it potentially would have, like, me and Julie being worse. Like, we're the long message
Oh my
leavers.
god, yeah.
Wanda's like, I don't
I'm
know.
never
what's
gonna
the better
open
decision
these.
for-
But
Wanda's like, I'm gonna have 6 polos to catch up, and it's 30 minutes each.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
skip.
yeah.
You can but you can listen to it in 2 times
Okay,
speed.
thank God, because iMessage does not have that feature yet, but
Yeah.
Instagram
So
does.
somebody has to buy it. So it's free, but somebody has to buy it. But the person that buys it can gift up to 3 or 4 people the premium version every
Okay.
month.
Okay.
Like the person that buys it has 3 or 4 per month premium to gift to anyone. So
Okay.
I just keep gifting it to Taylor because she doesn't buy it. Stephanie and I pay for it, and I just keep gifting it to Taylor and to Krista so we can 2 times speed if we need to.
Okay, so you're a
gosh.
diehard Marco Polo fan, considering you're paying for the subscription.
No
Dude,
kidding.
I'm serious.
Okay, we'll try it out. But anyway,
I know.
first
I'm, like,
question.
scared. Yeah.
So when you started training, or even like now, do you have like a athlete idol, or who's like your inspiration that you look up to?
Tatiana Krashrina.
I have no idea who that is. I know. I'm Tatiana. I'm sorry.
She's a Russian weightlifter,
Okay.
and she's like the most incredible super who's ever
Okay,
existed.
sure. Okay. What's your love language?
She's just so you know, she snatched 155 and clean and jerked 193, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love language.
Quality time. Duh.
I love that she was
quality
like,
time.
moving on from this
Well,
sport talk.
I'm trying to be rapid fire.
Be rapid.
Do you have a favorite training time?
Noon.
Okay. And then do you have any hidden talents?
I play the saxophone.
We need to start a band.
I'm telling you, all of these people and all these instruments.
Oh, I can also
2G,
whistle really
1B
loud.
band. Do it.
Yeah.
No, it's too loud. No, it's too loud. Like, it's so loud that's how I call my kids in for supper. Like, I go outside, I whistle, and then the whole neighborhood's like, yeah.
Huh.
That's awesome.
Okay. Last question. Would you rather have a pet dinosaur or dragon?
A dragon, of course.
Okay. Thanks for participating. Thanks for the Marco Polo
Yeah, you're welcome.
spiel. Not sponsored.
You're
Not
welcome.
sponsored.
Not sponsored. They can sponsor us if they want, though.
I was in BJ's yesterday. This is off topic, but I was in BJ's yesterday, and the guy that was trying to sell me a Verizon, something with Verizon, I actually sold him to take a vacation in California. I'm a good salesperson. What can I say? Like,
Yeah.
I'm good at selling you on something. I'm easily manipulated.
Yeah.
And I'm a good salesperson.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I
Okay.
love that.
Well,
Amazing.
thank
tell
you.
people where they
Yeah.
can find you, follow the gyms, the teams, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay. My Instagram is Lady Sarah Tyler. And I'm a heavy metal athlete, so you can follow Heavy Metal Barbell, Charlotte Strength, and you can follow RVA Performance Training to see all of the things that we do in RVA.
Awesome.
Cool.
Sarah, thank you
Did I
so much
answer-
for hanging out.
Okay.
You did. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. This was so much fun. It was so much fun. Wanda is going to be messaging you angry when Julie and I are sending her half an hour long video messages. But other than
Enjoy.
that, this was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
For everybody else, please share this with your friends and support the Patreon if you want, so we can start getting some money to give away to people so we can do more scholarships. And we will see you guys next time. if I play the right
Bye.
song.